Hi, my name is Rachel Price, and this is my story. On November 22nd, 2011, I had my daughter Kylie. As most young moms, you kind of have this picture in your mind of what it's all going to look like, and my delivery and all that just did not go as planned. And so I'd come home from the hospital, and I had this new baby that God had blessed me with, and I just was really, really struggling with postpartum depression. At the time, I didn't really know what that was, and I just was kind of like suffering in silence a little bit. I didn't want anyone to know that I didn't have it together, that I wasn't okay, and so I just kind of hid it. And so finally it got to where I was just in this dark hole that I just couldn't get out of. And so finally I got to the point where I was like, I've got to go to the doctor. And so I went to the doctor and had talked to my doctor about everything that was going on with me, and she just suggested I went on medication, and so I did. After about 18 months to 2 years I had been on it, I just really felt like I was supposed to go off of my medicine, and I did, and I didn't have any problems doing that. And fast forward, we ended up deciding to have another child, and I just was filled with so much fear that I was going to go through all the same feelings and emotions that I had. So I ended up, after we were pregnant, I was probably about 7 months pregnant, I went up for prayer one Sunday because it was just really eating me alive, just the fear. And I had promised pray with me. And she had a word for me that said, God is going to send you a helper. I guess it was probably a month later, my husband and I just so happened to look up what Ezra's name meant, because we'd already picked out his name, and his name actually means helper. And so it was just affirmation that like God was going to help me get through this no matter what it looked like. So after having my son, I would love to say that it just all worked out perfectly, but it didn't. I really struggled again, but this time I kind of knew what to expect. And so I ended up going back on medication for it. And I felt a lot of embarrassment. I felt a lot of shame because I felt like I'm supposed to be this like solid Christian. I shouldn't have these issues. I should be able to trust God. I went ahead and went on the medication. I was probably on it for about 14 months, and then we had the June baptism services. So my husband and I decided to come, and we packed clothes just in case. My husband graciously went home to be with our babies, and I got to stay and be baptized, and I was just radically changed. Like, I went in the water and I was baptized the first time, and I came out of the water and I was just flooded with so much emotion and just tears. And Chris Pollard asked me, he's like, what is God saying to you? And I said, he's told me that he hasn't designed me to cope, that he's designed me to be free. And that has stuck with me so much since then, because I really believe that I had gotten to this place where I was okay with coping. I was okay with just masking the issue and not really dealing with the problem. He does not give us this superficial peace. He gives us the amazing, pure peace and joy. And I would love to say, ever since that moment of being baptized, I've not had a single moment where nothing's trying to attack my mind. But I have had moments, but I'm reminded that he has not made me to cope. He has made me to be free.